What is up, basketball sickos? Another effective game for OKC. They take game 2, 118-103. This podcast presented by our friends over at Sentivo Vineyards and Winery. I'm Deuce Mason. That is Morgan Reagan.
That was fun.
Was it?
I mean, it was a good game in the first half, and then it was fun in the first half, right? I was like,
it was competitive in the first half.
Okay, I think competitive is the right word I was looking for.
You know what, though? It was the end of that first half that just got me, though, because
100%.
It's a 3-point game with like 16 to play, and the sequence to end, OKC gets 5 points at end. And it's just like, I think it was an SGA 3.
Okay.
Then an offensive foul on DiVincenzo, and an SGA gets to the free throw line, hits 2, and you're like, dude, this should have been a 3-point game. All of a sudden, you're down 8 at the half.
They end quarters well.
Yeah.
And, well, that's what they were doing in this game so well. And I think that was super beneficial to everything that they've been trying to do and execute consistently. That gives a team so much confidence, but then they're also starting quarters off the right way. You know, it's like, okay, SGA starting off this quarter with a nice little jumper. And I mean, he was good throughout this entire game. And I find that even more impressive because I feel like usually when someone gets an award before a game or something, there's like, or like a big contract before the season, there's always this extra pressure to just like live up to it. And he totally did in this game. It was a fun game watching him.
Holy shit.
What?
I just had an epiphany.
What?
I could be wrong on this. Okay, so check me on it. I could be wrong. I think Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Nickeil Alexander-Walker, is it crazy? Are they related?
No.
I don't know, dude. I may have wrong on that. Maybe it's just that.
No one had mentioned that on the broadcast once.
Dude. We know. They're cousins. We got it.
Such dicks. We need to stop. That's so mean. But
the first 2 games of the series, I'm like, I know they're related.
And his cousin fouled him. No shit.
Cousin on cousin. By the way, I love Mike Breen. It's just funny.
Oh, yeah.
And it's a great story, by the way. 2 cousins going at it, but it's like, I know. We got it.
And I thought it was interesting that we don't mention it all throughout the season, but it's like big game angle. So like producers are probably like,
oh my God,
hone in on it. Mention that he's his cousin. Oh, cousin fouled cousin. There we go.
No, you these producers are just like, hey, audience comes in and out. People who watch game 2 maybe didn't watch game 1. Make sure to mention. You guys didn't get it in the first quarter. I'm kidding. Anyway, back to what you were saying.
About SGA.
SGA, he was awesome tonight. He ends up with 38 points, 12 of 21, 13 of 15 at the free throw line, had 8 assists in this game. And he just got to his spots. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Sometimes they're playing good defense, and he's just a damn good player. He just won the MVP. I know there was so much talk after game 1 about, oh man, the foul baiting. Dude, I'm with you guys. It could be tough to watch sometimes. I get annoyed by it. I see Jokic do it. I see him do it. Over the years, Harden do it. It's tough to watch, and these officials get fooled sometimes. I didn't think we saw a lot of that, especially in the first half. There was that sequence we saw where he grabbed McDaniels, ref didn't call it, and McDaniels gets frustrated, just pushes him to the ground. They review it a flagrant 1 for McDaniels. But big picture with SGA tonight, I thought he was great. And I thought the OKC offense tonight was fantastic. In a game where they go 9 of 33 from downtown, they put up 118 points. And you're going, well, how the hell do you do that?
How do they do that?
You shoot 27% from you make your shots elsewhere.
Yeah.
And they didn't do anything crazy. I think there was so much talk about, Denver threw them off with that zone defense, and it was problematic at times. Well, tonight we saw Minnesota play more zone than they did in game 1. And OKC was like, that's cute.
And guess what OKC did so much with that zone? They go, oh, you know what's so funny? There's an open gap right in the middle of the floor. And every single one of us are going to just be in that gap, right? And they were finding that open space. It wasn't about attacking the gap with the ball. It was passing to whoever was flashing there. And most of the time it would end up being just like a short range shot, right? Caruso, Hartenstein, it didn't matter who it was. But then other times, if you had Rudy Gobert come up instead of staying in drop, even in that zone, it's like, okay, shovel pass to whoever else is cutting and moving.
Yep.
And you're exactly right. Just with SGA having a great game too, it allowed them to just really be in rhythm and move so well as a team.
Yeah, they just didn't try to do too much, and they were so efficient with their shot making. They ended up shooting 50% in this game, but some of the numbers, it was 44 points in the paint in favor of OKC. That number expanded late for
Makes
sure.
sense.
So plus 14, but OKC 69% on 42 attempts in the paint. Minnesota had 41 attempts, 53% on those 41 attempts.
Oh, they went up to 53%.
Yeah. Who was scoring up to 53 in the paint.
And I say that because Deuce and I were talking about points in the paint early on this game, and it was like their efficiency, it was just awful. They were missing everything. Their percentage was so low. What?
And this happened early too. They were getting some second chance opportunities. The Wolves 3 for 10 on second chance opportunities in this game. That sucks, right? That's just tough. Anyway, going back to OKC on 2-point shots tonight.
Okay.
They end up shooting 63%. That dipped late. They were pretty much 70% on 2-point shots in this game. So they did a great job attacking. They did a great job finding the right spots, whether it was zone, SGA getting to his spots, Jalen Williams with some great turnarounds. I didn't feel
mid-range.
I didn't feel like they were chaotic. I felt like they just read what the defense was giving them. Let me get to my spots. Let's run our shit. Chet was great.
Yeah. Oh
I thought the offensive execution by Oklahoma City tonight was great. 30 assists, just 8 turnovers.
And 16 fast break points. You know, you think about their game as a whole tonight, but really it's their offense that did shine in so many different ways, but because of their defense as well. Like they were just...
Yeah, their defense is just always... I just chalk that up every night.
Yeah.
They're going to make your life tough every night.
And that's what, so making the Wolves' lives tough, they're missing shots, whatever, not even making shots in the paint. It felt like OKC, whether they were pushing it up the floor and making something happen in transition or early offense, it was working, or just setting up in the half court. When you have someone like SGA being efficient and having just like such an impactful night like he was tonight, it's just crazy how they're just a threat from so many different ways, and they were efficient in so many different ways tonight. So yeah, it was I guess that's why when we started and I said that was a fun game. It is fun when you do see a team dominate with good basketball, and that's what I felt like we really got from OKC tonight.
We mentioned 38 from SGA. You also had 26 points, 10 rebounds from Jalen Williams.
Jeez.
He was really good. He also had 5 assists, and like defensively, he's just really challenging. I mean, when he was defending Randle in this game, Randle had a tough time. We'll get to Randle in a bit here.
Okay.
Chet also had 22 points for Oklahoma City tonight. You mentioned defensively, like Cason Wallace too. I mean, my goodness. His defense. I know he got some votes for all defensive team.
As he should.
So did SGA. And then in addition to that, OKC had 2 guys make the team. Lou Dort made the first team. Jalen Williams made the second team. And I'm sure if Chet met the qualifications, he probably would have had a chance to be at least getting some votes. Same with Alex Caruso. So you're just talking about having multiple guys that are just getting all defensive team votes. But yeah, Cason Wallace, just a past, dealing with Anthony Edwards, just fighting through screens and navigating so well. Oh, there were just so many fun defensive plays from him. One of my favorite plays.
What?
And this just goes to show you how good OKC is defensively. One time in the first half, Randle was being fronted. I thought Minnesota did some nice things trying to post up some guys tonight. And I think it was McDaniels in early offense lobbed it up to Randle, who got an easy bucket. It was great, right? So that play was happening again.
Oh, I know what happened.
SGA, I think, was on Randle, fronting him, and Randle points up, lob it to me. Dort reads it all the way, comes flying in there. As he's flying it, his arm's already back and just knocks the ball away. It's a turnover leading to a Chet Holmgren alley-oop jam. And you're just like, Jesus. Or was that a Chet? Maybe I'm mixing it up. It could be a different play. Let me just... Yeah. No, I don't think that was it. I think that was an SGA and one. Either way, my point is it was amazing.
The defensive play ended up into some great transition play. Great. I know exactly what defensive play you're talking about. And my favorite thing about it was the fact that they make the adjustment after seeing the play one time. You know what I mean? Okay, and this is the perfect example because The Wolves in their zone allowed OKC to have the same movement, the same action, the same motion, whatever it was in that open space and didn't make adjustments. Just as smart basketball players. Like, you don't need Finch coming out on the floor every single second and just being like, this is where I want your body to be when, if we're going to throw a double up here, whatever, blah, blah. That's how a lot of teams work in the NBA. But OKC has a play happen once and they go, ding, ding, ding. Okay, adjustment. And he just read it so quick, so beautifully, transitioning into 2 points.
Man. And then when you start thinking about you mentioning Minnesota and their zone defense, even when they were not in zone, they got shredded at times. And I think that's a big reason why you didn't see Julius Randle in the fourth quarter of this game.
Deuce.
Randle had a tough game. He had a really rough game.
As you go into Randle, we just mentioned our favorite defensive play. I think you should mention, going into Randle, your least favorite defensive play of the game.
I got to be honest. I think that's a tough one for me tonight because I think there are just a couple. But I think the one you're probably thinking about is in transition. Randle's in a tough spot where he's like defending the ball, but there's a man in the corner. So he's got to, if that ball goes there, what do you expect? Okay, you're on the ball.
Yes.
Okay, but in that corner, and the spacing's not great here. They throw it to the corner. If you're Randle, what do?
You should turn around, see where the ball's going. Oh shit, my teammate is in there. You sprint with your hands up.
Randle did not do that.
Hands down. His hands were down.
His hands were down, walking toward Lou Dort. Like maybe I'll give him a slow little
a jog.
And Dort buries a three, and you're just like, this is game 2 of the Western Conference Finals. And dude, we've given Julius Randle so much love during the playoffs because he has been fantastic. He, offensively playing with an edge, doing some good things defensively. But tonight, where was that? That was an effort play. And then there were just times his help defense just wasn't there. SGA is tough. And with Ant is in a tough position defending him and needs help, the help has to be there. And too many times you saw opportunities for the help to be there and it wasn't, or it was just out of position, or you're standing straight up. Well, I'm sorry, SGA has got the speed. He's can slither his way inside. And if you're not in the right spot, if you're not there to take that hit or to be in a good defensive stance and be big and show your length, then someone like SGA is just going to get it whatever he wants.
And just to mention, I'll continue with Julius Randle, but it's like even when Rudy Gobert was in there, his presence was felt on the defensive end, right? His body is protecting the rim as much as he could, whatever. But then it's like he was such a liability on the offensive end. We'll talk about that. First bad is Julius Randle. And, I think what's frustrating about it too is the effort play, some of the defense. He got a little chaotic. And
4 turnovers in this game.
And lost his composure as well there toward the. I get it, it's frustrating, whatever. But I think what's interesting is that you saw him have the good game last game and Ant have a slow game. This game, Ant's having a better game, and then Julius Randle is just like not even showing up. Those two have to have a good game on the same night.
It's tough because Julius, you mentioned the good game. I mean, I felt like he had a really strong first half in game 1. And then
in game 1.
He only had 8 points in the second half.
So you're giving him half a game, not even a full game.
So what I'm saying though, in the last 4 quarters tonight, I guess he didn't play the fourth quarter. That's the other thing. So let's just say because he didn't play the fourth quarter tonight, the last 5 quarters, he has scored 14 points.
Shit.
Right? Like and then you factor in the turnovers in the first 2 games. It's 9 turnovers. Some of it's just going to be tough. OKC is just unbelievable with their hands and their physicality. It's going to be challenging, especially when you've got the ball as much as Randle. But to your point, 14 points in the last 5 quarters for Julius Randle is just not going to be enough to beat this team. And it's something like I did a film breakdown the other night looking at Minnesota's 3-point attempts, 51 3-point attempts in game 1, looking like how many were good, how many were bad, the flow of the offense.
Because there were so many open ones and everyone's like, oh man, but they got so many open looks. But
obviously all open looks don't mean they're clean looks. They're late shot clock. You can be catching it high, you can be catching it low. And you saw a lot of examples in that when we were looking back. But where was my point I was going with this?
Oh, shit.
I don't
I'm
know.
sorry.
But it's fine. No, it's me. I was like, why did I bring up this film breakdown?
Because you liked your film breakdown.
Blah, 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 blah. I'm not sure. But what I could tell you is that was the point. I got it.
Okay.
I said OKC's defense.
Yeah.
What we saw in game 1. That's OKC's defense. That's like, this is what they do. They're a great team.
That's what they do.
I did not think that Minnesota team we saw in game 1 was a Minnesota team that we would see going forward. And I thought they were better tonight. But it goes to show you, like, can Minnesota's best be OKC's best? I think OKC is trending up. I think they learned some things in that 7-game series. I think, adjusting, going through this a little bit now, feeling some challenges, seeing some different coverages. They look pretty locked in at the moment.
Yeah.
And it's not from hitting a billion threes in a game. They're doing it their way, which is great. My point is, even if Randle's playing better, even if Ant's playing better, is it going to be enough? What I could tell you is what we saw tonight is not going to get it done. 2 of 11 for Julius Randle in this game.
But I guess when we do see that first half of play, like we did, even like especially tonight, when it felt like, oh, Minnesota was moving the ball around, but I also thought they did a good job of instead of trying to go downhill and attack the paint, a paint that's very packed up with OKC, they did it more by trying to get it into a post player. I say a post player, but whoever was posting up,
Anthony
right?
Edwards, they got him some post ups.
Yes, and so I loved when they were making that adjustment, and it didn't feel like they were holding on to the ball too long. If a double came, the ball was moving around. Some shots were being made in the corners. Julius Randle, same thing. But then this goes to what you're saying. OKC makes adjustments and they start putting a smaller guy on Julius Randle. And then a smaller guy is starting to be active with their hands, knock the ball away. And then he's asking for the lob. And then Lou Dort's coming over and run. It's just like
you're playing in their hands. I've said it's an example we have seen so much this year with Oklahoma City and Boston when they, again, I've mentioned this multiple times on videos. They put a smaller guy on a big, and you in your brain, you're like, oh, that's an advantage. I must get that person the ball. But these teams and coaches are going, please do that. We're going to bring the help. We're going to pull the chair. Our guy's going to be more physical than you think. Some of these smaller guys, especially the teams we just mentioned, play physical, and they can really take advantage of those situations that look like they could be a mismatch.
Yeah. So I guess ultimately, when I talk about the good from Minnesota, and especially in the beginning, they were making their shots. They came out with that type of game plan. I thought DiVincenzo looked like he was doing a better job of, 8 points off the bench.
And he did not play in the fourth either.
No.
Nas Reed played the entire fourth. Nickeil Alexander-Walker played all but 9 seconds.
That's SGA's cousin, right?
Honestly, I don't want to keep saying it because it's not confirmed.
Okay.
Maybe they'll talk about it one
day. Yeah, maybe.
Once.
We're such dicks. Nas Reed also 0 for 5 from 3-point land. I mean, he's
0 for 12 in the series.
And 0 for 12 in the series. But the one thing I will say good about him was that the adjustment I thought he made was like, oh yeah, I can attack the basket. And when he was attacking the basket, he had 10 points off the bench. Just good things were happening for everyone. Him being aggressive, he was also making it. I think he had one where he's like kind of falling away or had a weird far away layup where it's just going off the glass, but it didn't matter. It went in and it was like, yeah, score how you need to score. There's just not enough of that creativity from this team too.
No, and going to that fourth quarter, it was their best quarter.
Yep.
They outscored OKC 32-25. OKC is getting up by 24 in this game at one point, and that group was able to get it to within 10 with about 3 to play. And we're talking about and Conley was out there. McDaniels played the entire fourth. He was really good tonight. Nas Reed and Nickeil Alexander-Walker. That was kind of like the main 5 that you saw. And that group really helped them. And what was happening is that they were defending. Even if they were doing some gimmicky shit late, trying to throw 2 on the ball, SGA.
Ew.
So yeah, that was bad. Just defensively, the activity was so much better. And it would go, hey, the person that was supposed to help was there to help. They were getting some rebounds. It's just you're digging yourself out of such a major, major hole. And it's just crazy that you would think 2 of your better defenders, Gobert and DiVincenzo, would be the guys that you would need maybe out there late in the game, and they really weren't. And then Randle doesn't play the entire fourth. It is what it is. Like in some ways, I respect it from Finch, and I know Randall's not going to be happy. Who would be happy when you don't play the entire fourth? He's
Absolutely.
a competitor, but it just didn't feel like he had it tonight. And when you're trying to find any way to get back in a game and get some feel good, even if the game seems out of reach, you kind of stick with what was working, and that group was working.
And it's like you said, you go with what's working, and you never know if you can chip away. I mean, you said it at the end of this game. You're like, anyone's stupid for turning off this game after what happened with Knicks Pacers, And it's like, even when you feel like, no, but OKC has this, there's always anything weird can happen. And especially with a new group, a different group, that things are working, energy is different, whatever. They obviously, they made a little bit of a dent, but then couldn't push over the hump. OKC ultimately just took it away at the end. But I think when you look at Minnesota and you look at what they need to do next game, sure, you're going to be like, our guys being, I'm talking about Ant and Randall, have to play their best basketball together at the same time. And then you could even throw in Rudy Gobert. He has to do more for us, even if he can't catch the fucking basketball on the offensive end, whether it's
offensively, it's a train wreck.
That's what I'm
now.
saying.
Defensively, he's done some great things, but it's like, God, we got to score here. Our guys aren't knocking down shots, and our big man in the middle can't do anything.
No.
I think that pick and roll with him and Nickeil Alexander-Walker, I think it was a great pass by him, but I mean, Gobert's hands, I don't know, are the size of
trying to look.
I was trying to do improv with you.
Oh, as big as a coffee table book.
Wow. Like that book over there.
Yeah. Maybe, actually.
That's a great description. Big as a coffee table book. Yeah, go get it. So random, dude.
I couldn't think of it. It's like if I saw a lamp, I would have said lamp. So.
His defense is always good, but yeah, I thought offensively it was not good. Okay, here, I do think from Minnesota's perspective, what the frustrating element tonight, I think, is defensively for me.
Okay.
I didn't love it. Finch, stop with the zone. I don't think it's working. Like, they figured it out. Like, just guard. You got to guard. We got to figure it out. We got to guard. We got to play with physicality. We got to communicate. You guys have shown the ability to be a good defensive team. But the next thing is you got to start making shots. Last game, 15 of 51 from three. Tonight, they end up 11 of 39, 28%. So in this series, Morgan, they are 26 of 90 from three.
Yeah. That's not good. I think your math is right.
Yeah, it is right. I was looking at the OKC one for a second. I'm like, that math isn't right. 26 of 90 from three. What do you know? 28.8% from three. On the surface, I'll have to go back and watch, but on the surface, I felt like tonight, the looks they got from three were so much better. They were so much better. There's a lot of stuff in the flow. And you would love to think that, like, okay, well, we're going to go home for game 3 at the Target Center. The crowd's going to be insane.
Yep.
We have to play desperate. We'll get into some sort of rhythm from 3 at home.
Yeah. I mean, look, you're gonna feel that way just as a competitor, right? You're gonna have that mindset, but you would think that because you have that home court advantage, you know, that feel of
the home rims. I don't know if that matters.
I mean,
don't
just
know.
all the things. You know how
is this cliche, baby? Call me Nick Cliche.
Why? That's so dumb.
He's still relevant.
We need to edit that out now. Oh wait. I think he's not doing well.
Oh, I don't know. He's on that show.
That's a bad reference. I think he's
What's that show?
I think he's in trouble. Oh
Love
wait,
is
Nick
Blind.
Lachey? Oh, I was thinking of the Backstreet
Harder,
Boy.
you idiot.
Oh, the Backstreet Boy. He's in trouble.
Lachey, 98 Degrees.
Nick Lachey is just. Oh my God, he's so cringe on Love Is
Okay.
Blind. Let's break that down.
Anyway.
So stupid. Okay. Anyway, you'd like to think, yes, that they have the home court advantage, everything. But it's like you said, it's like OKC would have to, it feels like they would have to play their worst basketball while Minnesota's playing their best.
Minnesota is capable of playing better.
Okay.
They are. And
I'm with you on that.
I still think I don't know. Being down 2-0 sucks. We know this.
Yeah.
Especially to this team. They look like they're in a great spot. Minnesota, you go win 2 games at home, we're tied up. I'm not saying it's easy. It's not that easy, but OKC has lost games in the playoffs. Yeah. We just saw them lose.
Yeah. No, it's fair.
In the Denver series. So it's not like they're invincible. They are playing some of the best basketball. I'm like, I think Minnesota is going to end up shooting better from 3. I could be wrong because tonight
it's a better game.
Marks a stat that is borderline unbelievable. OKC now has 60 wins this season by double digits.
Whoa.
That's including the playoffs.
Well,
60 wins by double digits.
That's impressive.
That's insane.
It's impressive.
So, maybe it's just going to be too much. I'm like, I don't know. I want a close game in the fourth quarter in this series.
Same.
I want this series to give me a 6-game series, but I don't know. Maybe OKC's like, we're not letting that happen because we are the best team. We play awesome defensively. We got the MVP. We've been doing it all year.
Sometimes I become, we all do it. You get prisoner of the moment, and you're like, "Holy shit, are they ever gonna win a game again? Oh my god, will OKC ever lose again?" You get those feelings, those emotions at times, and you have to take a step back and remember how the T-Wolves were playing through those first couple of series in the style of basketball and how it did look different. Yeah. I know they're playing a different team that is that much better, and that's going to be the biggest thing in them. But it's like you said, how do you still find a way to play better basketball against this better team? And I'm with you. I think they can do it, and it would just make everything more fun at the end of the game too.
The other highlight of tonight, early in this game, Scott Foster getting whacked in the face.
Highlight
by Lou Dort.
You should say low light.
Oh, sorry.
Sounds like you wanted that to happen. Jesus. A highlight. An official is bleeding.
It was on a jump ball. Dort got him. And look,
it made him look tough.
If you want to dig into conspiracy theories,
oh God,
I'm not saying you should.
This is great.
I would look into the fact that the relationship between Chris Paul and Lou Dort. Former teammates. Chris Paul despises Scott Foster.
Love this.
What a good opportunity. If you're gonna hit an official, there's no better place to do it than on a jump ball on accident. No one's gonna accuse you of it.
Mike Breen said it. He goes, "Wow, that's even a perfect throw," and it was a perfect throw.
Scott Foster throws it up perfectly. Whack.
Yeah.
Blood gushing.
Review the tape again.
Chris Paul is like Venmoing him tonight.
Here's Venmoing.
Here's $10,000.
Can you Venmo 10 grand?
I don't know. Yeah, dude, I do it all the time.
Hi, Chris Paul. I'll hit him in the face if you Venmo me 10 grand.
Is there anything else we missed from this game?
No. It's hopefully it just gets better. Just from a competitive standpoint.
OKC's doing a lot of great things. No shit. I think Jaden McDaniels is playing well. I got to be honest. I know we talked about the flagrant foul for a second. Liked it.
Oh yeah, when he pushed SGA, like
he's getting sick and tired of getting called for these plays where SGA is initiating the contact, grabbing him. He's like, no, you're gonna call something. Call this, and push him.
This, you want this is not marginal contact. This is a foul.
Honestly, that's for playoffs. Yeah, no one's getting hurt. He's fine.
Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah,
I'm with you.
All right, let us know what you thought about Game 2. Do you think this series is all over? Or do you think Minnesota still has a chance? Is there anything we missed? Let us know in the comments below. Hit the thumbs up and subscribe.
Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo. They tell you what they know. Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo. The podcast that you know.